Oh my god, who are you and how did you get into my house? Oh, you want to see a tour of my plants in my plant room? Okay, okay, let's do this. Let's have a plant room tour. Oh, and by the way, my name is Ebuka. I'm a plant enthusiast and a plant content creator based here in Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so let's begin the tour with this corner over here. What do we begin with? Let's begin with my ZZ. I am honestly so happy I've been able to keep this ZZ alive because I used to be a notorious ZZ unaliver. But the trick with them has honestly been to neglect them. Yeah, so these guys truly are the one plants that I would say honestly thrive on neglect. Look at all the new growth popping out. So, oh my goodness, they just took the electricity. So, babes, I'm gonna be sweating bullets. So get ready for me to be sweating bullets because Nigeria is hot and I live in a third world country and the electricity is epileptic. So yeah, story of my life. Then moving on from there, I have this beautiful trailing emerald pothos. People don't really talk about this pothos enough. It's honestly a beautiful, easy pothos as are most pothos, and it makes an excellent filler plant. So if you want something that will just fill in the space, like something you can just hang on your shelf or on a bookshelf or something, honestly, she is good to go. Doesn't really require a lot of highlight. This has pretty much been here, and the light here is probably medium to low light, depending on the time of the day. And she is doing fine. And then I'm a big sucker for like these little cute decor pieces. I have a thing for floral, obviously, because I'm a plant person. I have a thing for floral pieces. And if it has cats in them, so I don't own a cat, but I love like cat art. So if it has cats, sign me up. And then yeah, so that's why the moment I saw these cute decor tea pieces, I was like, I'm buying it. And then, of course, I have my plant art. This was actually a gift from a follower. Grow through. This room is all about like plant and decor. The whole point is not to turn it into a massive jungle. The whole point is to decorate it in a beautiful way that I can sit and just do my work, meditate, do whatever I want to do. Yeah. Moving on, I have this little art piece that I also thrifted as well. This is also another cute cat decor. So let's focus on the plants. Let's focus on the plants. So I have my Monstera adansonii here. So one of the things of this plant room is just to use your easy, standard and staple, tried and proven indoor plants. I'm not trying to grow anything adventurous indoors. Thankfully, I live in a tropical climate, so I can grow my plants both outdoors and indoors. So the more challenging ones, I grow them outdoors. The indoor girlies are like your simple, easy, staple, tried, and proven indoor plant. So you can never go wrong with a Monstera adansonii. And I have this up a pole. I've gotten several questions about what material I used to make this pole. This is a grass pole. So in Nigeria, where I live, moss, sphagnum moss, not as easy to find and can be expensive. So I've substituted and I have this made with dried grass and it does the job, provides support for the plant, does the job. So moving on from there, I have this, my baby. I really love this plant. This is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. There was a time this plant was so difficult to find here in Lagos. Like I had to actually buy one out of Lagos. I had to ship it into Lagos. That's just to show you that the rarity is very relative or subjective to where you live. So she's still not a very common plant to find in Nigeria, but she's beautiful, grows very prolifically. I just love everything about her. Now she has outgrown this pole, and I'm asking myself, should I give her a chop? Should I not? Should I leave her the way she is? Yeah, and then she's growing in one of my grass poles again. So I've got this cute mirror here. Okay, I'm really big on mirrors, not because I am a narcissist, but because I love the reflective quality that they add. Mirrors reflect light and they make a room brighter. So I intentionally kept mirrors here. You're going to see more mirrors in this plant room as we proceed, and I have this cute decor piece as well. I got this rattan mat that I just call it a mat, a rattan hat that I kept here for decor purposes. Why I'm shooting this whole video like this is because this is like, I want you guys to get the full immersive experience. Like, for me, the plants are not just placed here to grow, they are placed here to be incorporated with my little decor. But moving on, sorry for that, going off tangent. I've got my Skindapsis. This is honestly fantastic indoor plant. It doesn't even like bright light. Used to really wilt when I placed it next to the window, but she just loves this corner. So this is a Skindapsis pictus, I believe, and beautiful, effortless. She's got some yellowing, just one yellowing leaf, but we're keeping it realistic here, babes. So I think we're pretty much done. So now let's explore the lower tier. Whew. So let's move on down to the lower tier. Thankfully, they have restored the electricity. I was literally sweating bullets. And we've got my Philodendron gloriosum here. I'm going to bring her closer so you can have a closer look. This particular plant tends to do really well during the rainy season. Like, it looks extravagant during the rainy season. During the dry season, they do look busted and crusted. They do not like high heat, high temperatures, and as you can see, Nigeria is hot. So they tend to prefer cooler weather. But all the same, she's still doing well, and she's also got some new growth as well coming out from there. So she's still doing decent. But obviously during the rainy season starts in April here. During the rainy season, I'm just gonna take her outside, and she just loves to be underneath the rain where she would thrive. I have another one here too as well behind me, but as we go around, I will show you, give her a better look. She's also busted and crusted, by the way, but yeah. And then next to her, I have got one of my favorite indoor girlies. This is an aglonema, guys. I don't see people in America and the West talk about this plant, and it's such a shame. This is an aglonema alumina. This is a very good indoor plant. Honestly, she doesn't like bright or harsh light, and as you can see, she's just beneath here, and she is doing great. She's popping out new growth. So if you want like a unique aglonema that makes a great indoor plant, get yourself an aglonema alumina. Look at those broad leaves. When you do give her much brighter light, but again, not too harsh, the leaves will have a more silvery hue, but she's so slept on in the West. You guys definitely need to get into her. She's easy, she's prolific, and she's drought tolerant. 100% recommend. So I close the blind so you guys will have a better look and the sun won't be reflecting as harshly on camera. But over here, this plant is actually a variegated yucca. So the goal here is to keep a plant that won't get too tall, so it doesn't block out the lights from this window and make the room darker. But so far so good. She's not really a fast grower, so I'm okay with her. I have her in this rattan pot, and I've got this cute frame, a thrifted frame. I have no idea what it is, but I just liked it because it was colorful. I like the wood frame it came in. And yeah, nothing much to say about her. Easy, drought tolerant. Now moving on. On the top part of the shop, I've got my very wonky and questionable Oxalis strangularis. See, I have zero luck with this plant. I wish mine could be as lush and as full as Sydney plant guys own, but I just don't know. I've never had luck growing a beautiful specimen of this plant. But low key, I do love her silhouette. I'm not gonna lie. I like how it projects, out the pop of color. She is flowering, which is nice. I didn't know that they flowered indoors, but she is flowering. And maybe one of these days I would chop her back and allow her grow and just be full specimen. I don't know, but right now we're good. We're good the way we are. We have a weird relationship and we're good. And then next I've got this my Hoya Crimson Cream. This used to be a lush, beautiful specimen. Like my Hoyas used to be so lush. I'm gonna insert picture evidence. But since I moved into this apartment like a year ago, a year and some months ago, they have honestly not been their best. Somebody hinted that I start growing them indoors or move them to shade, and I started doing that. I moved quite a number of them indoors, and let's hope that they all make a bounce back. Now, this plant, I deserve an award. This is a Calathea obifolia, and I think I have broken the Guinness World Record, guys, because I've kept this plant alive for a whole year. It might not be the most lush specimen, but she's alive. If somebody had told me I would be able to keep this plant alive for a year, I would not have believed. But here we are, a year later. She has honestly been through a lot. This is a very resilient plant. Like, I don't think we give Calathea's enough credit. Some of them are extremely resilient. She has a very strong will to live, even though she's quite annoying. We've been through thrips. There was a time I had an experimental leca phase, and she went through that with me. We've been through sunborn, everything. But she's fine and she's pushing out new growth. So, I mean, she may not be the most lush looking specimen, but she is alive and pushing out new growth. And who knows, maybe things will turn out and she'll just be lush and beautiful. But in the meantime, she's here. Now let's move over to these guys. Over here, I told you guys I moved my Hoyas indoors. So over here, I've got a couple of Hoyas that were once growing outdoors before my Hoya Bovata. Again, a lot of them used to be really full specimens, but I had to start them all over again. I love this one, the Hoya Sigilla is. She's cute. And would you believe I've had this Hoya Obovata for 3 years? I think I remember saying so and look, she's growing. She's growing in new leaves. So praise be. And then over here, I have got this variegated Philodendron Boiler Max. I'm trying to start I had a huge one, but it was like completely taken over by green leaves. So I've taken several propagations of the highly variegated ones, and I am starting all over again. Just a quick idea of the humidity is 66% and it is 32. Can you imagine it is 32 degrees indoors? Just imagine what it is outdoors. That's how crazy this Nigerian weather is. During March is the hottest time of the year in Nigeria. So, fun fact. And then moving on, I've got a couple of the core pieces. This is my Hoya Sunrise. Again, moved this indoors because she wasn't green outdoors. It was miserable. I've got some glass jars here, and of course, this is also where I tend to propagate some plants. So this is a propagation of Peromia angulata. This is a cute propagation of an Especia, and got my Hoya here as well. Hoya Crimson Green, yellowing. My Hoyas are so annoying. And this, I tried to grow tomatoes, and they became a disaster. And I've been too ashamed to update my Instagram people that the tomatoes I tried to grow from seed never made it. And then I saw this really interesting vine outside. Call me a crazy plant person, but I saw it growing outside in the bush. I caught it and I brought it in here. It's just been a few days and it's rooting so fast. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think maybe just leave it indoors as a cute indoor decor piece. Plant. I don't know. So that's pretty much that for the shelf plants. Let's move on to this side now. Moving on to my pride, my joy, my special baby. I've got so many offers to buy this plant. I'm like, no, I can never part with her. This is my Dieffenbachia Big Ben variegata. Oh, guys, I grew this plant from like a very, very small stub. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I just thought it looked interesting, and the person didn't know what it was either. So I was lucky to get this for a still. Oh my god, we have some yellowing leaves here. A yellowing leaf, just one. But that's fine. She is a fast grower. She just brought out this new leaf. This is one that honestly prefers to be indoors. In my experience, I tried to grow her outdoors and she just looked miserable, but she has been a lot better since she was indoors. Yeah. Guys, am I hallucinating or is there another yellowing leaf here? Jesus, what is happening? I think she's probably root bound. I haven't reported her in a very long time. So yeah, I think she's root bound, and I'm gonna report her. So far, unproblematic, beautiful, iconic, amazing, just amazing. I love her. I love her. Now, moving on to this my little contraption. So the reason why I obviously cannot close this window is because I have this rattan hanger hooked to the bars, and this is where I just hung. First of all, I have this one leaf Anthurium claravinium. Used to be full pot, but we're down to one leaf. We're down to one leaf that I'm desperately trying to save because this is not a cheap plant in Nigeria. I don't know if I'm being Jululu, but I can see a white growth, which indicates that there may be hope. I'm trying to save it fruit the stump in water and just so that I can't afford to buy a full plant, another one in this economy. I cannot. And then I've got my rather frightening looking Hoya hoop. A lot of the leaves have been falling off as a result of sunborn. Like green plant in Nigeria, the sun can be very merciless. So I brought her indoors, and so far she's been loving the indoor life. But I have lost a lot of the top leaves to sunburn. I will have to give her a chop, just to make sure the top isn't bare when I have the energy to do so. Also kept some Hoyas here that I'm propagating. Hoya Koreana, propagating to eventually sell. I kept them here in these small pots. They tend to dry out really fast, so I kept a saucer that I just add water from time to time. So that's pretty much it for this corner. Now let's move over to this corner where the mirror is. Me. Let's move over to that corner. Hi, you're about to see my sweaty face. So I have this huge Philodendron Perseveride. They are cuttings. I don't want to get too excited, but this is actually like money in the bank for me because these plants are really expensive in Nigeria, and I happen to come across some very yummy looking cuttings that I'm propagating and hoping to sell. I have one that I'm propagating in soil, you're gonna see later on, and I have these I'm currently propagating in water. So I'm glad that they are in my possession. I've always wanted one, and now I have pretty much more than enough. That's just the thing about this plant journey. Like you want a plant, and then it gets to a point whereby you even have so much of it that you're like, yay, I can propagate and sell. Okay, I'm rambling, but yeah, that's that. Now let's move on to this corner. We're gonna get to my variegated monstera, but first let's give a shout out to the yucca. Honestly, this is a very underrated plant and a very simple and easy plant. It's architectural, like it is like low maintenance, it is drought tolerant. So what's not to love, honestly? So remember that's the variegated one, and this is the variegated one. I just love the architectural. Hello, I just love the architectural feel it adds to this corner, and I have it in a cute ceramic pot. And yeah, loving it so far. This corner is a bit tricky to shoot because of the light coming in, but I'm going to do my best and show you the plants as best as I can. Obviously, the star of the show is my variegated monstera. Oh my goodness. I love her. Trips. Honestly, you guys want to hear a story time in another YouTube video about how I saved my entire plant collection from trips? Trips truly, really were determined to ensure that I didn't have variegated monstera, like, and it wasn't cheap. It was an expensive plant, one of my most expensive plants when I first got her. And trips decimated this plant. I had to start her all over again from literally one leaf. And here we are a couple of months later. She even has new growth. So trips tried, but my lord prevailed. And then in this corner here, I have the Caleta. This is the Caleta vitata. Honestly, a bit of a love-hate relationship with this Kalita because even though she's hardy, she just never looks nice. She looks a bit miserable. I don't know whether I'm giving her too much. I think this is a case of too much light. I still haven't figured out where to keep her that she will be happy, but yeah, nothing much to say about that plant. Not really a fan. I have another Calathea here. This is a Calathea. I can't remember the name. I did have to bring this one inside because um it was getting sun scorched outdoors. So I brought her inside again. Calathea rosier picta, I believe. But this is one of the hardy ones. After we survive the dry season, I'm gonna rank my Calatheas from easiest to hardest based off of my experience with them. I've had most of them for at least a year now. So I'm going to tell you which ones are like the easiest to keep alive. But spoiler alert, this is one of the easier ones in my experience. I've got like several cuttings of variegated Philodendron Max, and I'm also propagating in water. These roots so fast, so they should be up for sale pretty much soon. I love this plant. I've made so much money from this plant, and I stand to make more. So yes. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys this. I have this Hoya Rosita that I'm currently hanging here. Nothing much to say about her. Cute and unproblematic. And I recently brought her indoors from outdoors. Again, I'm trying to grow my Hoyas indoors to see how they fare well. So yeah, spotlight on the Hoya Rosita. And then, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this colossal plant right behind me. This is probably the star of this plant room. Do you guys think? This is an Epiperum pinnatum variegata, and this is a beautiful, aggressive growing plant, especially for us here in the tropics. It's in this big pot, but it has quickly outgrown this big pot. The new growth. Look at all the new growth on this girl. In this corner, I've got my potty mix. This plastic container contains my potty mix. I'm going to open it and show you guys what my potty mix looks like so you have an idea. And then, of course, I have this perseverate that I'm trying to propagate in soil. You guys have seen the one I was propagating in water, right? So this is the one I'm propagating in soil. And I've got my rather miserable looking Philodendron glorious. Some of you guys, I've told you guys the gist. These guys do not fare well in hot temperatures. You've seen that the weather is quite hot, and they always look miserable during the dry season. But you know, the rainy season is coming, and they have started to pick up. Look at new growth here, and lots of new growth here as well. So, like during the rainy season, they are peak beauty. Yeah, but look like a hot mess during the dry season. Let me show you guys what's in my potty mix. So this is what my potty mix is made of. It's very loose, but also moisture retaining. So in Nigeria, I've quickly learned. I used to follow like the West and their potty mix, like the chunky potty mix. But I quickly learned that doesn't work here because the weather is very hot and your soil will dry out so fast. And also we have lots of thunderstorms as well. So you want something that can retain some moisture, but can also has a bit more weight, so that your plants don't just get tossed up and down during the thunderstorms that we have. So I use this for my plants indoors, and I also use it for my plant outdoors. It is loose, fast draining, a bit on the sandy side, but I use sharp sand in place of perlite, and cocoa coir, and lots of compost as well. I'm very big on compost, and you know, all of that good stuff. I'll give you guys a detailed video if you want me to make a detailed video on how I make this mix, but I use it for both my indoor plants and my outdoor plants, and as you can see, they are doing really well. So again, moisture retaining, has a bit more weight. It certainly isn't like the lightest, and but very important, very fast draining. I always make sure it's very fast draining. Yeah, so that's the look at it. Look at it. Doesn't it look yummy? Yeah. So we have made it to the end of this tour. Sorry if I was a sweaty mess throughout. This country is hot. I couldn't help myself. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to have a cold shower and then collapse in bed with the AC on and then call it a day. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video next week. Bye. Bye.